Despite being an avid watcher and fan of anime and manga in my middle and high school years, it didn't persist into my adult years as much as my interest in gaming or music. In fact, the only series I keep up with is Spy Family. I'm a sucker for fake marriage and found family tropes. Mix that in with a broody blonde man, I was doomed to be obsessed with this series from the start. Yor is actually my favorite character for so many reasons that I won't bore you with the whole list of. People who have never given this series a try like to write Yor off as fan service bait, but that couldn't be further from the truth of her character. Despite her sad beginnings, Yor has faced a life of hardship with a smile on her face. Becoming an assassin at a young age to take care of her brother after their parents died, Yor takes her responsibilities in stride and values family and loyalty. Even though her and Lloyd are married for mutual benefit, Yor still loves Anya as her own with no ulterior motive. Yor's quirkiness is one of her endearing personality traits. She can be clumsy, socially inept, and take things a bit too literally. As a neurodivergent person, I love to read too much into things in hopes of finding representation and characters to relate to, and I believe I found one in Yor Briarforger. Neurodivergence and autism are somewhat trendy topics, especially on TikTok nowadays, with a fair amount of misinformation making the rounds. No, having somewhat quirky habits does not necessarily indicate you're neurodivergent. The signs of neurodivergence and autism in children also differs greatly than that of adults, and namely adult women who have to adapt and mask in a unique way. When we meet her, Yor is quite apathetic and aloof when interacting with her coworker. Is that the chief's coffee? Should we put snot in it? Snot? Does that make it taste better? When meeting Lloyd, who calls her pretty, she says, "So you have a favorable impression of my appearance?" Smooth, Yor. We see later that Yor has a hard time fitting in at her coworker Camilla's party. She even is the subject of some pretty intense bullying, as Camilla accuses her of being a past sex worker and tries to embarrass her by spilling hot food all over her. It backfires, of course, because my queen is untouchable. The most surprising thing is that Yor doesn't really seem to notice that she's being mistreated. When she takes cooking lessons from Camilla, she even tells Dominic, "She's always seemed like a wonderful person to me." In the same chapter as the cooking lessons, Camilla says, "You've seemed kind of different lately, Yor. You used to always have this dumb, blank face like you were a robot or something." Throughout the story, one of Yor's main goals seems to be appearing normal. At work, after helping Frankie track down a lost cat, she's in high spirits as it really does feel so good to help people. Her coworker Sharon says maybe she's just happy she's finally become somewhat normal. "You really think so? I'm normal now?" Yor says excitedly. Gold mine of evidence starts in chapter 65. On her way to a department store, Yor says, "How much longer will it take before I finally get good at acting normal? Where did everyone else go to learn how to be normal?" This line tugs at my heart a little bit, actually. Being neurodivergent can actually be quite lonely, and many people have remarked that being autistic specifically feels like everyone else received a manual detailing how to act in every possible social interaction, but you were the only one who didn't get one. Yor's thoughts here remind me a lot of that anecdote. At the department store, a vendor advertises an eyeliner for piercing eyes. What? They're selling a concealed weapon for piercing eyeballs? No, I mustn't. I have to pretend like I'm a normal person. After meeting Melinda and saving her from falling, Yor gets roped into a day of activities with the Lady Patriot Society. She opens up to the women, and when talking about marriage, family, and parenting, Yor laments her inexperience. "As a mother and as a wife, there are so many times I don't know what I'm supposed to do." The rest of the women are like, "Yeah, girl, same, join the club." To which Yor says, "Wait, not knowing what to do is normal?" And it's a very beautiful and healing moment for her, in my opinion. When Melinda finally reveals her identity, Yor, having been carefully insulated most likely by shopkeeper, has no idea what First Lady means, and Yor being Yor, imagines it quite literally. First Lady? I won't rest till I'm first at everything. Behold humanity's first woman. I think this part is one of my personal favorites. With Spy Family still being an ongoing series, I have hope we'll have many more amazing Yor moments to come. Although I don't think Tatsuya Endo intended explicitly for Yor to be neurodivergent, of course, part of enjoying our favorite media is connecting with and relating to our favorite characters. That's all I've got for y'all today, but I hope you'll stay tuned for my future projects and videos. Make sure to check out all my links below, and I'll see you later.